Okay, here's a question. Have you ever been poorly, internally ill, and you know something is not right? Yeah, so have I. It was about 2007 I started getting these really strong internal pains. These pains were so strong it got me in absolute agony. One afternoon, my legs collapsed. I couldn't get back up. Something was wrong. After being sat there for a couple of minutes thinking to myself, right, what's happening here? This pain starts to get really, really strong. I'm thinking, okay, is it appendicitis? Have I got food poisoning? Whatever it was that was going on, I wasn't well. I needed medical attention. Well, I finally gets back up within a couple of minutes thinking to myself, right, okay, then maybe I've just got a bit of wind or something inside my stomach and it's trapped. So I kind of leaves it for a couple of days thinking to myself, I think I'm all right. Well, a couple of days have gone by and I'm feeling not right good. And I was taking my youngest daughter to school. And as I was just leaving the gate, and it happens again, both of my legs collapsed, I hit the floor. I goes a bit grey in the face and I'm starting to shake, with my daughter looking at me in my face, saying, Dad, are you all right? I just kind of pulls myself back up, props myself up, and struggles to take my daughter to school. Well, as the day progressed, I'm starting to feel really not well. Something is clearly not right with me. So I asked my business partner if he'd take me onto the A&E. So I struggles to get inside to go and see the receptionist. Anyway, I get myself registered and sits down in the waiting room. And there's about 20-25 people in there waiting to be seen. So at this point, I'm in such agony, I'm curling over, thinking to myself, I don't want to be around all these people. So I walks off down this corridor and I sees this little side room. I goes inside there and I collapses on the floor in such pain. About 2 minutes later, this doctor walked past the room and he sees me on the floor. At this point, he's just turning around to me, asking me a few questions. Who am I? What's the problem? And he starts to feel around on my stomach as I'm screaming my head off. This guy realises something's not right. He bypasses everybody in this waiting area and checks me out. So for about half an hour, he's trying to find what the problem might be, but he can't find anything. So he turns around to me and says, can you give us a couple of samples? We need to check your urine and send you for an x-ray. Well, a couple of hours have passed. I'm out of the x-ray. I've given the samples. I'm on this bed. The doctor walks back into the room and goes, Alistair, we need to submit you. So I'm like, oh, great. So he puts this tag on my right arm and preps me for a hospital bed. So he leaves the room. I'm laid there all by myself on this metal slab. I'm so far in the hospital, I can't even make a phone call because there's no signal. I'm laid there with absolute excruciating pain going through my stomach and me losing sense of my legs. So I know there's something really not quite right. So I'm laid there and I turns around and I says, you know what, Lord, I'm not afraid of dying. Take me home now. I'm not bothered. Take me home now. That was kind of like my attitude. I said, but how am I supposed to get on through life? Do the things that you call me to do? And I'm like this. Either fix me now or let me go home. I will leave everybody behind. It's not something that I want, but I'm not going on through life like this. So I'm laid there, tears rolling down my eyes, thinking, okay, is this cancer? Is this kidneys? Is this going to be a life-changing alteration? What is this? And what does the future bring? About 5 or 10 minutes had gone by as I'm kind of going through my thoughts, and this Indian lady walks through the door. And it goes like this. Hello there, Alistair. I'm your doctor. Just here to have a look at you. And she turns around to him. She goes, these are your results. These are your blood. This is your urine. You are absolutely fine. There is nothing wrong with you. You are as fit as an ox. So I'm thinking to myself, well, don't tell me there's all wrong with me. I'm the one that's going through all this pain. I'm the one that's got no feeling in my legs. There's something wrong. So she's looking at my test results, and then she looks over towards my right arm, and she goes, who's put this on your arm? I says, the doctor that's been seeing me for the last half an hour. He says, we need to keep you under observation and keep me in overnight for more tests. She turns around and she looks at me, she goes, no, there's nothing wrong with you. Go home. She grabs hold of the ticket that's on my arm, cuts it off, and tells me to leave. So she grabs me arm, takes me off the bed, and puts me clothes on. I walks out of the door, I am absolutely fine. And it never happened again. This is called faithful words. But the strangest part about this is, I met the doctor, not the Indian lady, the original doctor, several weeks later. He said, "What happened to you? Where did you go?" I explained to him about the Indian lady, the one with the red dot on her head. I gave him a full description of who it was. He looked at me with a strange look on his face, saying, "That description does not fit anybody that works here." I turned round and I went, "Are you sure about this?" Remember, I asked God to either get me out of here or take me home. I'm Alistair, and this is my podcast.